I started 2025 while making a minimum wage $16 an hour, and I ended 2025 having closed over $50,000 in clients online and making thousands of dollars per month, regardless of how many hours I worked. And I've since gone on since then to make over $100,000 online. As I said, starting with just $100 in my bank account and minimum wage. Okay. Now this video is going to be about investing. Okay. No stock, crypto, or index fund would you ever be able to invest $100 and turn it into 50 grand? Okay. So how did I turn $100 into 50 grand? Because I invested in skills. Okay. Skills. This is the phrase that I really like. I invest in the S&M 500, not the S&P 500. S&M 500. Okay. You are the stock that has the potential to go to the moon. Right. People have gone from zero to a billionaire. Okay. That is a much higher upside than any stock, crypto, index fund. Okay. But you get there not by buying into a ticker, but through learning skills, okay? So this video is going to be for the young people who have like a few $100s or a few $1,000s, and you're wondering like, what should I invest in, okay? Like I see this all the time. When I was in university for law school, I had a lot of friends that liked stocks, and they would talk about it all the time. And they would talk about, what are you investing in? They would watch the markets. Oh my God, Trump did a tariff. This went up, this went down. Cool, bro. Okay. And then you ask them like, how much have you got invested? And they're like, oh, $3,000. And you're like, okay. So even if it doubled, it would go up to $6,000. Your profit is $3,000. How would $3,000 change your life? Would you quit your job over $3,000? No. It's a trivial amount of money, but there they are, like investing hours every single day into investing. Okay. But they do this because it's like they have money. They're not sure how to spend it. They're not sure how to invest it. I want to give you guys another perspective on this, okay? Firstly, I want to define the word investing. Let's define our terms here. Investing is not just about money. Investing just means to allocate your resources for the highest return. That's all it means. Allocating resources for the highest return. Money is a resource. It's not the only resource you have. You also have time. And the thing about time is that time is a much more potent resource than money, especially when you've got very little money but you've got a lot of time. Time is way more potent of a thing to invest in. But people see the trees but they miss the forest. They're investing their money, $1,000 into the S&P 500. Next year it might be worth 1,050 or 1,100, but then they spend 3 hours a day scrolling Instagram. Time is the more potent investment. Like you're investing, but you're not investing the thing that's actually going to give you the biggest return, okay? So people know about investing money. They don't really know about investing time, okay? They know about investing money in order to get a 10% return or a 5% return. They don't know that investing time gives you a 10,000% return, okay? So let me break this down. Let me give you a tactical example. So if you have $1,000 and you're like, what should I invest in? You could buy the S&P 500 and it'll be worth 1,100 maybe. You could spend that money on a sales training course. Being qualified for a sales job, and by the way, qualified just means you know how to sell because you took a course, you know how to sell, so now you're qualified. A sales job could easily be like a 10K a month job or like $100,000 a year, at least 8 or 9 grand a month. Okay. Like a sales job, by spending the $1,000 investing into learning how to sell, for instance, that $1,000 can become $100,000 per year and beyond and turn into a really profitable career for you. But if you invest it in a stock or a crypto or an index, it's going to be, you're going to make $100. But by investing in a skill, it's worth a lot more. Okay. For instance, even just learning how to build a website, right? Or like learning how to run ads on Instagram, like that's what I do. It doesn't cost much to be able to learn these skills, and then you can charge $1,000 every time you set it up for someone, every time you build a website for someone, every time you set up a campaign for them on Instagram. It takes 20 minutes to set up for you. It takes you 20 minutes. They pay $1,000 for it. As long as you know how to do it because you watch some YouTube videos or whatever, you can make some money there. Okay. Invest in your skills. Okay. And I also want to touch on university. Okay. Because going to university, that's investing in skills, right? Well, sort of. The thing is that it used to be that universities were the gatekeepers of knowledge and of information. Obviously, that's not true anymore. It used to be that the degrees would lead to would almost guarantee you like a well-paying job and a lucrative career. Not anymore. Nowadays, it doesn't guarantee you a job at all, and it definitely doesn't guarantee you a lucrative job, and it's not going to guarantee you a career because, in the next, it seems like every single month, AI is getting better. A lot of things are going to be changing career-wise. Like what human beings are actually required for is going to be very, very different. So what worked 50 years ago is just plain and simply, obviously not what's working right now. And it's not what's going to work in the future. What is going to always be valuable, I think, is creative problem solving. If you can solve open world problems, unbounded problems in a creative way, I think that's always going to be valuable. Just solving problems, being a problem solver. That's what's going to be valuable. But with a university degree, universities are pumping out, hundreds or thousands of people with degrees every single year. But there are not hundreds or thousands of jobs opening every single year, right? We're literally experiencing like degree inflation. With every new person who gets a degree, that degree is worth a little bit less, right? Everyone's degree is worth a little bit less because there's so many degrees, no jobs. Huge supply, no demand. So they're not, so going to university is not the best investment. It's not the best way to allocate your time and money resources to get the biggest return. It seems like the people who are getting big returns are people investing in skills that are like directly tied to wealth creation. So marketing, sales, fulfillment, like running a business, even like video editing, like being able to make videos, being able to be entertaining, being able to stream, like those are the types of things that people are actually making money with nowadays. So how did I go from $16 an hour to, 50 grand to closing over 100 grand online? Simple. I took that $100 and I spent it on Facebook ads. And it's actually a really interesting story. I had $100 in my bank account, but I spent $500 on ads. So I knew for a fact that I had to close a client because this payment was not going to go through, right? I knew that that ad account wouldn't charge me until the end of the month. So I had 30 days to, I told the ads manager to spend 500. I only had 100. I had like 30 days. I had less than 30 days. It was like 20 in order to sign a client. Because if it didn't, the payment would not go through. The ad account would get shut down. I'd be done. Luckily, I did sign a client for like $1,000 or something. So I went from $100 to $1,000 in my bank account, one client. That was in January of last year, I think. February, next month, I signed 2 clients. I just reinvested the money into ads, signed 2 clients. And I had $2,000. Next month, I think I did 3, maybe 2 again. And in the month after that, I did 3 clients. And the month after that, I did 4. And it just kind of spiraled up from there. Just reinvesting the money. And the only reason why this worked is because I had skills. Because I knew how to run ads. I knew how to market. I knew how to sell. I knew how to do something useful for other people that was actually in demand, right? Every business wants more customers, wants more money. So you've got infinite demand for this. And then from there, I've been able to build a really profitable business for myself.